All right. Well, good morning, everyone. My hope is that you are having a good time. Just give me a thumbs up to let me know if you are hearing me clearly. Want to make sure that my audio is working well. So give me just all right, good. So I get some thumbs up. So Cedric did an amazing job. Let's just give some hand clap. Give me some. Let's get some hand clap emojis for Cedric. What an awesome welcome session that was, Cedric. And thank you for that challenge and those 3 points in your message were phenomenal and that was great. So for those of you that are new to the Black Entrepreneurs Institute, we are an organization that is dedicated to advancing the success of Black and minority entrepreneurs. And so, what our theme line, our tagline, what you always hear us say is that we're all about elevating mindset and your money. So we like to joke and say that BEI is where the money resides, where the money resides. So if you like to if you like money, just go ahead and give me some reactions there. I love to see the reactions there. So guys, listen, I am absolutely excited, and I hope that you have been making some meaningful connections and that you're building really strong relationships. This event is all about quality connections in a collaborative environment. So as you're here, think about like what value you offer and who you need to connect with, and start looking and building those relationships. Don't leave out of here with somebody without someone's contact number if you want to connect with them. And by the way, if you look at the screen on the right, when you click on the chat feature, you will see that there's a section that says live chat and another one that says direct. So you can direct message people that you have met in the process of the conversations, and then you can follow up with them after the fact. But I want to hurry up and get out of the way right now because we have a phenomenal keynote speaker. So let me give him a proper introduction, and then I will take my seat, and then he will be here, and he is coming loaded with value. And so, by the way, if you didn't bring a pen and paper, this would be a good time for you to pull up something to take notes on. Okay. So our keynote speaker is David Wilson. So it is my pleasure to bring David up. David is an entrepreneur. He is an author. He's a speaker. He's a trainer, and he is the managing principal of Fund You Up. This is a 15-year-old funding firm that helps small and mid-sized companies acquire short-term business funding when traditional bank financing is unavailable. Listen, Fund You Up provides both secured and unsecured capital to operating businesses and real estate investors up to $100 million. Yes, that's million with an M. The website is fundyouup.com. So that's funduup.com. Fund You Up. Now, since founding Fund You Up, David has started, grown, and exited two other companies in the same business financial space using the networking and connecting methodology and mindset of BNI. And for those of you that might not be clear on what BNI is, BNI is one of the largest networking organizations in the world. It's called Business Network International. So David has been with BNI for almost 25 years on this journey. Now, currently, David is a BNI director in the Central Virginia region, and notably, he is also a former Director of the Year and former President of the BNI Chapter of the Year. So when it comes to leadership, you can learn a lot from David, and obviously when it comes to networking. Now check this out. This is the part that I love, and it's really one of the reasons that we chose to bring David for this event, and we're so grateful that he said yes. In 2014, David wrote the Blue, um, uh, popular networking event blueprint called I Hate Networking Events. I love the title. And so, listen, it's so good that it was endorsed and recommended by the father of modern networking and the founder of BNI, Dr. Ivan Meisner. And yes, it is available on Amazon, and you can get it at ihatenetworkingevents.com. So lots of places you can get it. Now, this year, he launched his second networking and connection project called the No Rejection Connection. The No Rejection Connection. Now, this is where David teaches proactive business owners and entrepreneurs, people just like you, how to monetize their networks by connecting with anyone, including themselves, to anyone, anywhere, for any reason, without the fear of rejection. And I bet that if you have a little apprehension about attending a networking event, it's because of that whole feeling of fear and rejection, right? So listen, you can find that program at the norejectionconnection.com, the norejectionconnection.com. But you can also catch David as the business savage on his internationally broadcast business radio show, the No Nonsense Market Domination. You can catch him every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern on the IBGR.network. IBGR.network. Now, this is where he just gives you straightforward guidance. He's a pretty funny guy, right? But he discusses relevant business topics like sales, networking, and connecting in a cogent and succinct storytelling format. You can follow and listen and subscribe to his podcast at podcast.co, wherever you get your podcast. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let me see the hand claps. Let me see the emojis as I present to some and introduce to you and bring David on stage. Let's hear it from Mr. David Wilson. David, thank you for being here. The audience is ready for you. You see the hand claps going up. And so, my friend, listen, just before I let you go, I just want to say on behalf of the founders of the Black Entrepreneurs Institute, thank you for accepting the invitation. When we reached out to you, you did not hesitate. And I know that you're coming to bring value. So thank you, thank you, thank you. The floor is yours. Do what you want to do, my friend.
All right, my pleasure. Thank you, Damian. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate that. I'm a little shiny, so I apologize. As Damian said, and I appreciate this. His words, not mine. He's a pretty funny guy. So hopefully today you'll see that come out. We'll have some fun, but we'll also take away some. There we go. I love those. We'll also take away three things that will change the way we connect and change the way we collab. So that's the whole point of what we're doing here today. All right. So a little bit of an icebreaker. I kind of want to know who's in the room. You know, the types of folks we have in the room. And I figured a great way to do that. I want to do something professional. I wanted to do something business-like that will kind of let me know who's in the room. So what better way to do that than versus battles, right? So versus battles will let me know who's in the room. Now you're thinking, well, how is that possible? All right, so there's going to be 4 categories, and I want you to give your thumbs up, give your applause in what is your best category of versus battle, okay? So the first is Wu-Tang. The Wu-Tang battle. The second is Earth, Wind, and Fire and Ron. Earth, Wind, and Fire and Ron. The third is, and this is a hypothetical Drake and Lil Wayne battle, which, I don't know. And then the fourth is, what is versus? All right. So number 1, Wu-Tang battle. So if that's your favorite one, put your thumbs up, put your applause up. No takers on that. Oh, wow. What about Earth, Wind, and Fire? Earth, Wind, and Fire, and Earth, Wind, and Fire, and Ron. There it is. There it is. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. No Wu-Tang. Wow, that's okay. The hypothetical Drake and Wayne battle. Let's see if I'm right about. Oh, wow. That would be interesting. Okay. And then what is versus? Okay, good. I'm glad you all know what versus is. All right, so let's get going. And I want to start with a story that'll bring us to our first lesson. And this was way back in 1997. This was my first experience with what was called a business card exchange. So I was born and raised in Jersey, born and raised in Neptune, New Jersey. So this is where this all happened. Okay, I was sent to my first business card exchange, right? So the company I was working with, sales manager called me and said, listen, I need you to go to this business card exchange. Well, what do I do with a business card exchange? You're going to go network. Okay, so this was my first experience with networking, right? So I'm going to network. So I'm happy about that. So I get in my car and I drive up to, and I'm headed to the greater, I believe it was the Greater North Jersey Chamber of Commerce, or the North Jersey Chamber of Commerce. And I got there and I was ready to go. He told me to bring a whole bunch of business cards and collect as many business cards as I could. Awesome. I can do that because that's networking, right? Right. Okay. So I get there and that's what I start doing. Hey, I'm David Wilson. I do this. So I help businesses get money. That's kind of what I was doing. It's kind of the same space I'm in now through invoice financing. Great. Here's my card. Great. What do you do? Oh, well, I do. Okay, that's great. And then I would just take their cards and, that's awesome what you do, and move on to the next person. Thanks. So by the time I was done that first day, I had about 58, 60 business cards. And I drove back, got my little Saturn, drove back to Neptune, and it was awesome. I called my manager back and he's like, great job. What do you do? What do I do now? Because I'm a networker, right? What do I do now? Call them. All right. So I start calling people back and say, hey, I'm David Wilson from the event. And the response was like very disappointing. It was like, who? From the event a couple nights ago. Who? No, I don't remember. From the click, people were hanging up on me. People were yelling at me and whatnot. Don't call me again, which is crazy. But here's what I learned from that. And this is lesson number 1. So I wasn't even concerned about the other person, right? When I was networking, the networking I thought was networking was simply business card collection. That's all I was doing. So first takeaway, lesson number 1 is actually a radio station. And the radio station is called, if anybody knows, you can type it in the chat. Radio station is called WIIFM. WIIFM, what's in it for me? So what's in it for the person we're connecting to? What's in it? Why are we even having this conversation? And what ended up happening, well, I wasn't listening. I was just doing all the talking. So what's in it for me? That's lesson number 1. So as I began to grow in networking, that's when I was introduced to BNI, Business Network International. And when I first got involved in BNI, I'm thinking, wow, this is great. I can definitely see what's in it for me. Because what's in it for me is referrals. So this is going to be awesome. So I'm going to be able to grow my business. I'm going to be able to get all of this stuff from people, from other business owners who will give me stuff. Cool, makes sense to me. All right, so I get involved with BNI, and strangely, none of that stuff really happened. And early on, and I didn't think BNI worked, and I took a step away. It's about month or two in. It's like I haven't gotten any referrals. This is terrible. What's going on with BNI? Which brings us to lesson number 2. So lesson number 2, and this will all funnel down to the what we need to focus on when we're connecting and collaborating. So lesson number 2 is, well, you have to give. So you have to give. You have to focus on giving. So what's in it for me? And give. Because I wasn't giving, I was expecting, I was taking, I was looking, I was there to take as much as I could possibly take for myself. So I misread what's in it for me, and I misread the whole mantra, the whole idea behind BNI, which is givers gain. So now this is starting to make sense to me now. So I'm starting to put all this stuff together. Okay, so now that I'm giving. So focus on giving, focus on what's in it for them. What's in it for the person I'm speaking to? Why would they even want to connect with me? Right? Okay. So now I'm progressing through BNI, moving through BNI, and great things are happening. So I'm giving more and everything is great. And I'm starting to actually build a network. So give me a thumbs up, give me a hand clap if you already have a network. If you already have a network that you've worked maybe for a month, maybe for 2 months, maybe for years, decades even building. Okay. Yeah, and that's great. So when I started out, I began building. I was meeting people. I was now I'm learning what they do. I'm learning what value they can add to me, what value they can add to my clients, what value I can add to their clients, what have you. And I'm just collecting all of these names and phone numbers and what have you. Back then, I was putting those into a Rolodex. Well, no, actually, that was not that far back, but it was a CRM. So I was using Act CRM. So I was putting them in a CRM system, and I had my head down, and I was just meeting people and working until I woke up one day, and I had like 1,000 connections. And I thought to myself, well, okay, now that I have 1,000 connections, now what? And it's these ebbs and flows in networking. Maybe some of you have experienced what I'm talking about. So my timeline on this is over a span of 25 years. That timeline could be easily condensed into a year. It could be condensed into 5 years. It could be condensed into 10 years. It doesn't matter. But I got to a point where I was like, I'm meeting with people, I'm doing all the right things, and I'm talking to all these people, and I'm putting them in my database, but they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything for me. And it was weird because I looking back, so in the midst of it, that's not what I saw. But looking back, I realized that I am reverting back to kind of where I was. So I have this massive, what I think is a massive network behind me that I'm not getting anything from. It was my mindset. I'm not getting anything from them. So obviously, whenever something's wrong with a relationship, something must be wrong with them, right? So it's never us. It's always the other person, or it's always the other people that where something is wrong. And they don't understand what I do. They don't understand my message. They don't understand my. And then it kind of hit me. Well, when was the last time I did something for my network? So not when was the last time my network did something for me? When was the last time I did something for my network? And as I thought about that, and so while lessons number 1 and 2 kind of drove me to write I Hate Networking Events, lesson number 3 is what drove me to really put together the process of monetizing the network, waking up the network, reinvigorating the network. And lesson 3 is I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to help. And I found I began to deliberately and intentionally. So I was giving before, but now deliberately and intentionally trying to help individuals in my network. So you can see the formation of how we're bringing this into Connect and Collab, right? So now I'm focusing on, let's say, Steve and what Steve does and how I can help Steve. What Jane does and how I can help Jane. Not thinking about myself at all, right? Not thinking about myself at all. And what I discovered was and it all started to blossom for me. I don't know if this was my intent, if I wanted this to happen, if I intended for this to happen, or it just happened. And I look at it like a scale, right? So my goal was to give. That's it. I was giving without any expectation of anything back. Okay. And as I gave, I wanted to make sure that scale was off balance in my favor at all times, to the point where Steve, the person to whom I'm giving, is like, wow, this guy is really interested in my business. This guy really wants to help. Maybe that'll help Steve, induce Steve, cause Steve to want to help me. But really, it's all about vibration. It's all about positive vibration. So it doesn't matter if Steve helps me, because that positive vibration will come back to me somehow. And that's the no rejection connection. That is how I began to kind of wake up that sleeping network, and really focus on helping them, because now when all that energy is neither created nor destroyed, it's just moved, right? It just moves. And now we stir all that energy up, and you have a whole bunch of people helping a whole bunch of people. And that's how we get into the connection and collaboration. Okay. So you take those three lessons. What's in it for me? Give. And I'm just trying to help. Here's what that eliminates. Here's a huge takeaway when you put all those things together. So the scenario of collaborating with someone could be collaborating with someone on a project. It could be collaborating with someone in a referral source, from a referral source standpoint. So I want to speak to this person. I want to speak to this person about me helping their clients on a regular basis. It's always the same thing. So we have to there has to be a bilateral benefit. So what's in it for them? What am I giving? And I'm just trying to help. So I'll give you a quick example, and then we'll go to questions on how this works. My company, Fund You Up, we work with business bankers who have to tell their clients no, right? We can help business bankers turn those no's into yeses. So what's in it for the business banker? What's in it for the business banker is the opportunity to help a business client, a banking client, when they may not be able to at the bank. So another option. That's what's in it for them. So me, what am I giving? I'm giving them a resource to make them look good, make that customer maybe stickier, make that help them help that customer. And now, this came up earlier. We didn't talk about it too much here, but that fear of rejection. One of the things I talk about in the no rejection connection is rejection and how to eliminate it. Anybody out there feel rejection? Sometimes when they're speaking with someone, thumbs up, claps. When they're speaking with someone, I don't even want to have that conversation because I don't want to be rejected. I don't want to be told no. I don't want to be told, what have you. What this eliminates, I'm just trying to help, eliminates that altogether. Because if we're just trying to help, we can't be rejected. So that business banker comes back and says, you know what? I don't want you to potentially help the no's that I see at my desk. So instead of that, it's okay. Well, I'm just trying to help. I can't be rejected. I'm just offering my help. And if we're going around to people, whether it's in person, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's back to our networks and our databases, and we're looking for ways to give and try to help, keeping in mind what's in it for them, we can't lose. We can't lose. That's a big, broad stroke on connecting and collaboration. But I have found this to work without fail. And it's something you can do every day. And you just start with one person and try it. That's my time. I hope that is helpful. I want to leave time for questions. If anybody has any, just go to the raised hand part of your screen. Click on that, and we will bring you in. I guess if you don't want to be on screen, you can type it into the chat. But nobody has done that yet, so I'll leave the rest of my time for that. If anyone has any questions. Oh, there's one. So let's see. From Kerry. All right, Kerry. Here's the mic.
Just wanted to ask, just in terms of, we talk a lot about the elevator pitch, your 20, 30 seconds where you get a chance to talk about what it is that you do. What would you say are the most important components of that in that short amount of time that you may get a chance to connect with someone? What are some of the key things that you would want to bring across in that short amount of time?
All right, great question. I would say if at all you want to be so polished with your elevator pitch that you can custom tailor it on the fly to whom you're speaking. I think that's where you ultimately want to be. So it shouldn't be exactly the same for every person. So if I know I'm speaking to a business owner, my elevator pitch is different than if I'm speaking to a banker, or if I'm speaking to a CPA. I change it. So because the benefit is different. So that would be my advice. So figure out how you can, what benefit you are offering the person that you're speaking to, how they may be able to help you in theory, and then custom tailor it that way.
So does that then mean that the most important part of your elevator pitch is finding out who you're speaking to?
I would say so. I try to. So Kerry, it's nice to meet you. Tell me about your business. So if I try to be first there. So now if I'm listening and I understand what it is you do and what you're trying to do, what your goals are, now I can kind of custom tailor what I'm going to say to what you say. If I happen to go first, though, I'm still going to ask you, and then I'll follow up with a question. Okay, so you mentioned that, or that sounds interesting. What's your biggest challenge in your business right now? So what's your biggest challenge in your business right now? That may have nothing to do with me helping you. I may not be able to help you with that. But now go back to waking up your sleeping network. Someone in my network may be able to help you with that. Right? So now based on what you just told me, I'd love to connect you with my colleague, Steve, who does this.
Right.
You see? And now, because remember, we're just trying to help. That's all I'm trying to do. Maybe I can help you. Maybe I can't, but maybe Steve can. That's the idea.
Got it. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Did I answer your question? Awesome. Thank you very much. All right. I think we're going to do that. Awesome. Anyone else? Let's see. Okay, we have one that came in, I think. How did you handle the emotions that came? Okay, so coming in from Flora, how did you handle the emotions that come with the rejection? Were you getting emotionally affected in the first place? I'll answer that as a great question. I'll answer that with a story. So I was up in Jersey City, and I had made a plan to give, and I thought I had identified 10 businesses in Jersey City that I could help, and I've discovered what was in it for them. So I drove from Neptune to Jersey City, which at that time with traffic was probably about 2 hours, which is terrible. So I pulled up to my first company and had everything planned out. So I walk up, hit the buzzer, and I say, "Hey, I'm David Wilson, and I'm here to see Jim. Here to see Jim." "Oh, well, who are you with?" And at the time, I was with we had an affinity. We were both part of the New Jersey Chamber of Commerce. So I figured, okay, well, we have something in common. What's in it? We were both members of the Chamber of Commerce. So I get buzzed in. I said, "Hey, okay, cool." So she says, "Wait right here. I'll go get Jim." So Jim comes out, and this is the first and only time this has ever happened to me. So I extend my hand and said, "Hi, Jim. I'm David Wilson," and he did not shake my hand. He did not extend his hand, and he said to me, looked me dead in my face, and said, "If you don't leave this office, I'm going to call the police." And so I was like, "All right, cool. And I will see you later." So I went outside, I got in my car. Now, mind you, that was my first meeting of 10. So now back to your question, how did you handle emotions that came with rejection? I felt them. I felt it because after that happened, I drove home. I was like, I can't do this anymore. This is crazy. I'm going back home. I went back home, and I probably went to sleep. And I was just like, man, this is until I realized that wasn't about me. And I had to reframe it in my mind that, okay, I can't let him and his reaction to me, which had nothing to do with me, affect the value I could potentially be bringing to other people. So other people might need what I have to offer. Other people may need my help, so I have to keep going. That's how I dealt with it. I mean, it was very real. But once I realized I'm just trying to help, I can't be rejected anymore. I cannot be rejected if I'm trying to help you. That changed everything. So thanks for that question. Yeah, it was ouch. All right, Mr. Gordon.
I'm sorry. My question is based on networking platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn. Every day you're getting new requests and people are always adding to your network, but it's not benefiting you. Based on what you were saying, I guess my question is, what would be your suggestion to actually start reaching out to them, start seeing exactly how you can help them? Because right now, yes, someone can have LinkedIn connections of 1,500 or more, or Facebook as well, but it's not benefiting your business. So I just wanted to ask you about that.
Awesome. Thank you for that question. There are people not me, but there are people with 5,000, 6,000 connections on LinkedIn, and they wake up one day and say, "Well, what am I supposed to do?" I think if you look at all of those connections and say, "Okay, I got to get to all these connections now," you're going to do nothing. I think you have to start one at a time, and it starts with engagement. So with current connections, we've been connected for a while on LinkedIn, and I would love to learn more about your business to explore possible ways that we could help each other. Would you be open to that? If so, I'd love to schedule a meeting with you, and don't make it long. So I'd love to schedule 15 minutes with you. I use a program called Calendly, where people can pick. Where people can schedule appointments with me, and that has worked. So some people are going to schedule. That. Thanks for reaching out. And they'll schedule something. And I hate networking events. I call that an exploring possible synergies meeting, EPSM. And that's what we're doing. We're exploring ways that we can help each other. So 4 ways can I help you? Can I help your clients? Can you help me? Can you help my clients or connections, right? Clients or connections. That's where it starts. It starts with the engagement, and then go from there. I have experience doing that on LinkedIn. I do that every day on LinkedIn. Not so much on Facebook, but I'm sure it would work just the same on Facebook.
All right. Thank you very much.
And one thing, you could also start with that with a new connection. So, hey, thanks for reaching out to connect. Now, I'd love to explore ways that we could possibly help each other. Let's schedule some time just to chat a bit so I can learn more about you. You can learn more about me. And that's all. That's the no rejection connection. That's all there as well. So in that script.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Raise hand and withdraw. Okay. Awesome. All right, Mr. Johnson, I'm going to turn it over to you. I think we might be out of time.
Yeah.
And I certainly appreciate it.
So David, that was amazing. Thank you for dropping that gold. Let's give David some love. You all see the reactions buttons down there. Let's give David some appreciation. If this was meaningful to you, just let us know and put some comments in the chat. Let us know what spoke to you. What was your one key takeaway from what David shared just now? I love the EPSM, David. I think that's brilliant because sometimes I feel like with LinkedIn nowadays, you get on there and then like as soon as you accept a connection, they're trying to pitch you something. Like as soon as you
Right.
and that's a turnoff. So I like that idea of exploring possible synergies. So thank you, my friend, for being with us. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to use the remainder of the time to apply what David just taught you. So we're going to go back. We're going to close this session, and then that means you're going to be at virtual tables. And guys, I would encourage you to spread out. We don't need to have 8 people at one table, right? There's like 16 or 12 tables. Each table has at least space for 4 people. So spread out. And if you meet someone and you think that there's a possible synergy there, take it offline and invite them to go to a table. The tables have numbers, so you can send them a message and say, hey, join me at table 12 and use the direct chat feature. But we're going to close the session now, and the rest of the time is all about connecting and collaborating. Use these nuggets that David gave you today to apply your business. And by the way, if you look up in the chat feed, I'll be posting all of David's links and different ways that you can connect with him, his books and his company Funds You Up and all of those things. You'll see them in the event chat. So go network, go connect, go collaborate. Mr. Wilson, sir, thank you. I do think you are a little bit funny.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, but we appreciate you. Thanks for coming. And guys, go enjoy yourself for the rest of the time. And then toward the end, Dr. Nicole Rankine, one of our BEI co-founders, will come and close us out with a couple of her beautiful wisdom nuggets of wisdom. Okay, so we'll see you at the tables.
All right.
All right.